Toyota are once again offering their hydrogen cars basically for free. They are 15,000 US dollars, and you get a free $15,000 fuel card. So the car is essentially free. However, there is a catch, and there is a reason why they're doing this. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching The Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. Should you take up a free car? I mean, it's basically a free car. If you're getting $15,000 worth of fuel and the car costs $15,000, then Toyota is making nothing out of this. They're essentially giving the car away, obviously, aren't they? The website hydrogeninsight.com has revealed that Toyota has reduced the price of new hydrogen cars in California to just over $15,000 with $15,000 of free fuel. This is the newest version, the Mirai XLE. Now, these things used to cost 70,000 US dollars. I think it's actually the cheapest car you can buy in the United States. When I say buy, I mean you are having to pay $15,000 even though you're getting a $15,000 fuel card. So I actually had a look in the US, and I wasn't able to find any cars that are cheaper than this, especially not, in this level of specification. They're actually pretty high level of specification. Toyota has begun offering 70% discounts on the Mirai XLE hydrogen car in California. Now, if you're in any other state in the United States, you can't buy them. Well, you can, but you know where to actually refuel them. So I wouldn't recommend doing it. In addition to that, Toyota will give you 0% financing for 6 years. 0% financing for 6 years, $15,000 of free hydrogen fuel. I mean, considering you can get 0% financing for 6 years, it kind of almost is free, actually. The model, which has a manufacturer's retail price of $50,000, it used to be $70,000, is now available with a $35,000 discount when using the 0% financing, providing a sales price of $15,000. If you include the value of the free fuel, it actually costs you $100. Even without including the free fuel, the Mirai XLE is the cheapest new car in the United States. It beats the Nissan Versa, which is a bucket of junk, and that car costs 18,000 US dollars. The XLE version of the Mirai had previously been available in California with a $25,000 discount, and now they've upped the ante. They've made them even cheaper again. So Toyota has basically revealed a series of discounts, and the MSRP just keeps on going lower. So the discounts don't look as extreme as what they used to. The more expensive Mirai Limited model is now available with a 43,000 US dollar discount, plus 0% financing and a $15,000 voucher. Now that model is $24,000, which is a 64% discount. Like I said, that model used to be, the MSRP is $67,000. They've reduced it to $24,000, plus you can get that $15,000 fuel card, plus you can get free financing, 0% APR. In the first 9 months of 2024, only 441 hydrogen-powered vehicles were sold in the United States. Its sales are essentially dead, considering the United States car market is 16 million. Selling only 441 for the whole year was, nothing. California is the only US state with hydrogen refueling infrastructure. Now, this compares with Toyota selling over 3,000 in 2024. However, I did a video on a lawyer in the United States who contacted me. He was the person leading the class action. There's a class action lawsuit in California. Many people who bought the Mirai, and they paid a lot more money than this, they're really begging Toyota to take the car back because they can't refuel them. The CEO of Shell, when a new CEO took over, he shut down the hydrogen refueling stations in California because they were losing money on them. And they just break down all the time as well. That meant that there is not many refueling stations in California. In addition to that, the fall in sales has been widely attributed to the very, very high price of hydrogen fuel, the unreliability of fueling stations, as I mentioned, and problems with actual fuel supply itself. According to analyst Platts, the average price of hydrogen fuel at California filling stations on the 1st of October last year was around $35 per kilogram. With a storage tank capable of holding 5.6 kilograms, that means the average price of filling up your tank is about 200 US dollars. It's actually, according to Hydrogen Insight, so they don't have any vested interest to lie about this, it's 14 times cheaper to recharge your electric car. Average recharge prices in the United States at a DC fast charger, not at home, because at home you might be able to do it for free or for a couple of dollars. Average, it is 14 times cheaper to recharge the DC fast charge your electric car in California. There was a hydrogen fuel shortage across Southern California in 2023 and 2024, and this resulted in almost half of the state's hydrogen refueling stations being offline for many months. Mirai drivers in the state were so incensed by the refueling or by the fueling problems and the fact that they had to, often their cars would break down, that they banded together to launch a class action lawsuit against Toyota again last summer, accusing the automaker of failing to disclose or actively concealing that hydrogen fuel may be unavailable, that filling up the Mirai takes many hours on average, they say, that fuel pumps freeze up and lock onto the cars, and that the cost of fuel has increased so much that claims that the $15,000 fuel card will supply 3 years of fuel are absolutely false. It might actually only supply you with less than 1 year of fuel because the fuel is so incredibly expensive. It's actually about 5 times more expensive, 5 to 6 times more expensive than gasoline, as in petrol or diesel. Guys, I jumped onto some forums here, and from what I can tell, it actually sounds like Toyota have stopped producing the Toyota Mirai, or at least stopped producing it for the United States market. Everyone's saying that they can't find any Toyota Mirais, and that Toyota has just quietly ended production for the United States. Now, that may or may not be true. I also looked at some forums, and I mean, there's some real horror stories here. Toyota actually came up with this new idea, right? They said, you know what? If your Toyota Mirai breaks down, we'll provide you with a free tow service. Free tow service. I'm like, wow, what great service from Toyota, but they won't take the cars back. Now, the free tow service is because it's just so hard to refuel your vehicle, and you don't get a lot of range out of that tank. You only get about 350 to 400 kilometers, if that, if you refuel to the maximum level. And obviously that is not always possible. Often there's not enough fuel at a lot of these stations. They don't actually supply much. Apparently, the maximum potential of a refueling station is to be able to refuel 50 cars. That's it. After they've refueled 50 cars, it's empty. And you've got to wait for that refueling station to be filled up again. It's really a bizarre idea that they ever thought this would work. I can't understand it. I mean, imagine if you had a Tesla supercharger or a gas station and they said 50 cars and that's it. And then we have to wait for a new delivery of energy. It's crazy. Anyhow, here's what one owner said. I regret buying this car every day. Easily the worst financial decision I have ever made in my life. Not long ago, hydrogen was $12 to $16 per kilogram, headed down. At least that is what was claimed by many people. And California was slowly building stations. Technical issues were not as widespread as they are now. Shell was still in the business. Now hydrogen costs more than $36 a kilogram, with absolutely zero explanation. And the new stations are stuck in some kind of perpetual delay. In other words, businesses have pulled out. They were planning on building new hydrogen stations, and then they were smart enough to realize they were going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars, and they stopped. Shell's new CEO has decided to abandon existing stations. Technical issues last over a week sometimes, which is absurd. Toyota didn't have anything to do with all this. It's not their fault. Really? What do you guys think? Does Toyota themselves, who have known about these issues now for years, do they have any kind of culpability in this? Do you believe that this person who's written this is correct, that Toyota have no blame whatsoever? Now, keep in mind that staff at dealerships didn't disclose this stuff to people when they bought the cars. They didn't tell them all this stuff that I've been talking about in this video. Is this all just a coincidence, or is hydrogen being discouraged from auto use in the United States? Are these issues present with China, who now has almost 400 stations? Now, I should point out, guys, people don't buy hydrogen cars in China. The OP, the person who posted this, is wrong. These hydrogen refueling stations in China, they're actually for trucks. They're not for cars. Anyhow, they went on to say, we all might find out the truth, or maybe it will stay a mystery. One thing is for sure, in the EU, there will be hydrogen stations every 200 kilometers by law, and China will soon have this in many provinces. Okay, I didn't know that was a fact. Is that a fact? There will be hydrogen refueling stations every 200 kilometers by law all across Europe. Now, I've done some research. I can't find that law anywhere, but maybe it's just me. I'm just not doing a good job of researching it. Guangzhou sets out plan for US $1.4 billion fuel cell vehicle industry by 2025. The city aims to establish itself as a leading domestic development and manufacturing hub for fuel cell vehicles, covering the whole industry's chain from core parts to vehicle assembly. Now, she's supplied a link to that. Well, in China, sorry, if you do have a hydrogen car, then you're stuck as well. China has the same problems as California, and there's almost no hydrogen cars in China. In fact, less than 0.1% of China's car market or car sales in 2024, less than 0.1%, in fact, less than 0.1% were actually hydrogen vehicles. So yeah, hydrogen is not taking off anywhere soon. Now, I believe that this person is a little bit misled. They thought that they'd done their research with their hydrogen car, but they didn't do their research. And the truth is that hydrogen cars were never going to take off. But I don't blame them. There is hundreds and hundreds of completely false misinformation videos on YouTube, hundreds of commenters claiming that EVs are not the solution. Actually, hydrogen cars are going to take over. Hydrogen will take over the market. And even Toyota themselves have told people this. They've told customers this. They've told the media this. They've told the world this. The future of the automotive industry is hydrogen. And Toyota actually has said many times that the majority of most of cars that will be sold worldwide after 2035 will be hydrogen cars and not electric cars. Guys, do you agree with this? Do you think Toyota is telling the truth here? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments.